Gianni, it's a pleasure to have you here on this podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization, what you do, and why are you here today?
Sure. Anyway, Green the Islands Foundation is a global organization, a profit, aimed at supporting islands worldwide in their strategy and plan for the sustainable transition, starting from energy, but also in the nexus with water, mobility, waste, agriculture, and so for a full sustainability. And we are here because we have created and launched already in Athens in January a task force on the Mediterranean, because first of all we want to engage the Mediterranean islands. We have 100% renewables programs globally that want to implement the Mediterranean in order to help build roadmaps for 100% renewables, originate pipeline of projects, including, of course, hydrogen and storage, etc., and put together a project from many islands in order to create clusters interesting for financing. Something very important that we want to use the islands as laboratory for the Mediterranean basin and also islands worldwide for other regions of the world. And today we are about to launch our MedSec, the Mediterranean Dialogue for Energy and Climate, which is a step forward of the task force we launched in January that has the aim to enhance our climate diplomacy around the Mediterranean that starts from the island as a sort of secretariat coordinators, because the islands has not the old narrative of the colonial narrative of the past or the new, because somebody say that even with the renewables there is an approach of colonialism in building in the North Africa project for Europe. Anyway, in that sense, islands like Malta, for instance, or Cyprus, etc., they are the best position to seen well to coordinate and stimulate a dialogue for an ambitious target of renewables in the Mediterranean. We talk even about 1 terawatt in order to, by 2030, in order to contribute the tripling that was launched at COP by Global Alliance, by Irina, and in the final document.
Very interesting. Which islands in the Mediterranean are leading in this respect? You said you talk about clustering, bundling forces, etc. Who is taking the charge?
Yeah, I see a lot of political will, to be honest, and a lot of action in terms of policy. And we have seen in terms of movement, Malta is one of these, indeed. It's trying to, has already done some analysis for huge plan of floating offshore, offshore wind, also solar. They discuss about also project on innovative project on floating solar that, considering the sea, is more challenging. And also they want to consider the limited space. They want to maximize the solar in the buildings, in parking, etc. That putting together all of them, we might be surprised about the outcome. No, because we think 1-2 roofs are not so much, but if you put together all the single spaces, it's quite thing that can complement. But solar and wind are the main one, are not all the only ones. So of course we need to have innovative technology like wave energy, like geothermal. Let me say, you surprised Malta with the geothermal, but in reality geothermal also is endothermic exchange of temperature, building with the underground anyway. Also we are talking about a micro hydropower, small hydropower, natural storage, etc., that existing, like the example of El Hierro, for instance. All the renewables, the answer, all the renewables together with storage, with hydrogen, are the solution.
And yeah, islands are of course beautiful laboratories, because very quickly you get to, let's say, 80, 90, even 100%, and we can all learn. Let me give you the opportunity to pick one random question, and then we'll...
Well, I hope I choose the right one. Okay, it's like playing the card. Okay.
Yeah. I'm interested in learning more about how the network, which is the MedGem network, the Mediterranean Green Electricity and Molecules Network, fosters cooperation between the EU and target country stakeholders in the fields of renewable electricity and hydrogen. So I'm asking you to transform yourself into me, and how can we better do our job? So basically what we're trying to do is foster partnerships between Europe and the Southern Mediterranean on these topics. What should we do?
Yes, first of all, I will invite you to join our MedSec we're about to launch anyway, because we need the multi-stakeholder. This is the target. But indeed, anyway, to have, there are a lot of studies on the table, no? And first of all, that they need a sort of coordination, no? And with some case studies, no? It's very important that to join the effort, because there are pilot projects here and there, and your network can put together, the intelligence anyway. Because when we talk about climate change, energy transition, there are not boundaries. We are beyond conflict, as we discussed about climate and etc. So we need to put together the effort of all the stakeholders, specifically on this topic, which is the topic of your network. And this indeed would be a great value also in the broader alliance we are trying to build, dialogue that is beyond hydrogen and also with other technologies indeed.
No, that's a very important point that you're making. And, you run a network, we run a network. We're basically all networks of networks. And what we have to do is, make sure that there's synergies and as little overlap as possible. And some of the things we do, we actually do exactly that. We're looking now at, for example, skills mapping in the countries of the Southern Mediterranean, but others have already started doing that. It's the likes of UNIDO, it's the World Bank, it's development banks, and we work with them all together. IRENA is there, so that we basically get the maximum out of our efforts, and everybody chips in. So,
thank you. Thank you very much. Looking forward for a closer cooperation.